Share number 22 on the mound tonight for Rutland Post 31s. We're taking on Woodstock, Post 24, Channel 15, Public Access Television, Munger Vision bringing you this contest. And that Legion season winding down. Rutland plays tonight. Tomorrow night they're at Fairhaven, and they will have one more league game, a trip to Windsor. They'll close out here July 25th at 5:30 start time. They'll be taking on South Royalton, and then it's off to the tournament, which will be held in Fairhaven. And Woodstock, Post 24, will have Jack Boymer leading off, and Matt Sharon, who has been very effective this season on the mound, will start him off with a ball. LaPlaca is his catcher, but there are some changes defensively I'll make note of here, especially on the infield. And it's going to be fouled out of play. Now leaving everything up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Garrett Brewer will be your first baseman. Chris Parker's at second base, but they've moved Robbie Dorian, and he's in at shortstop for this ball game. Jeff McLaughlin will take the hot corner. He'll be at third base. And Matt Sharon, he doesn't waste a lot of time. Catches and fires, and there's a swing and a miss and a strike. John Holtman is your right fielder. Chad Ryan getting a start in center field. And Sean McGuire out there in left field. That's the defense for Post 31 in their red, white, and blue uniforms. And, well, yeah, rung him up. First strikeout of the game comes to the first hitter. And that will bring up Phil Giampa, the second baseman. Now, these two teams have played already up in Woodstock. It was a 9-inning game. They got mercy ruled to 8 innings. And Sharon looking to just keep the momentum going as we head toward that postseason. There's a strike right there. Rutland coming off a split with Brattleboro Post 5, and really wasn't the worst case scenario. A win tonight by Rutland assures them a place in the playoffs in the tournament, the Southern Vermont tournament, and that'll be ball 1. Again, that's just over in Fairhaven, and that's only like a 15 to 20 minute ride from Rutland. That's really worth going over and taking a look and some of the action as you will represent the South in the state championship game. And that's going to be at McGuire, and he looks up in that sunshine about 4:15 to 4:20 this afternoon. We had a very brief thunder shower, and the field has dried out very nicely. It's a lot cooler than it was for that Brattleboro game, which, remember, that was in the 90s. We're probably in the high 70s here, and there's a good breeze blowing out from home base to center field. So with 2 down now, that'll bring up Ben Pilsmaker, the catcher. Sharon had him turning away with that curveball. Now, if you've never been exposed to the atmosphere of a dugout for a baseball game, let me get this pitch in from Sharon. And that's going to be able to play for a strike. Strike 2 now. You would think that it's all strategy talk and baseball chat up and this and that. No, all season long when I go down and get the lineup, the biggest thing going on in Post 31's dugout is the application of the eye black and getting it just right, a unique design, the right width so it looks cool, not dorky. These are their words, but they're painting each other's black spots underneath their eyes, the sun shield. That's the most important thing prior to a ball game. I thought it was so funny. And I think today's winner, the most unique, is Justin Pamakala. He had the Alice Cooper look going with the eye black today. So a 1-2 count, 2 down, and strike 3. He has struck out 2 of 3. Sharon has. He'll have a 1-2-3 first, and Rutland coming up to the bottom half of the first inning at St. Peter's Field on Channel 15 Sports. So Rutland's Rob Dorian, who will be leading off here, will be looking at Luke Wemple. He'll be the starting pitcher for Woodstock. He'll throw from the right side. Ben Pilsmaker is the catcher. It seems like he's been there forever for Woodstock. And Troy Pareto will play first. Phil Giampa will be at second. Jack Boymer is your shortstop. Dan Yanofsky is at third, and that pitch will be low for a ball. It'll be a little bit outside also. Alex McCarthy is in right field. Alan Clarkson center, and Mark Mayville is your right fielder, your left fielder, excuse me. And that pitch to the backstop will be 2 balls, no strikes. It's going to be Dorian, Matt Sharon, and Jeff McLaughlin. Of course, the cleanup hitter who's been red hot all season's Anthony LaPlaca. I started to tell you, though, the state tournament also is going to be held. That's the third, and they'll have the long throw, and they'll get him. They'll get Dorian out on that 5-3 ground out as he got it down to Yanofsky, who made the throw. Yeah, the North or the South tournament is in Fairhaven, and the state tournament is in Fairhaven, so a real good chance for you to get out, take a short ride, and enjoy some of the tournament baseball action. That'll be a strike on that bender there, that breaking ball. Matt Sharon usually getting the start at shortstop when he's not pitching. On the mound this afternoon. Again, nice temperature to play baseball at. And it's going to be reached out there. It could be caught. It's going to be slicing and a great effort. That's going to be at least a double. It's going to become a double, they said. And that's for Sharon will pull up. He'll have the game's first hit on a good diving effort out there by Mayville. But Matt Sharon will have a double. And that means McLaughlin coming up now with a chance to give Rutland the early lead here. We're scheduled for 7. Like I said, the game they played in Woodstock was a 9-inning game. It got mercy ruled in the 8th inning, which is a 10-run lead. Since Rutland was the road team, it had to go at least a full 5 because Woodstock had a chance to bat in the bottom of the 5th. And the runner able to advance down. No throw, and Sharon will take on that wild pitch. He will take third base. This is all happening with 1 down now. Again, Rutland with a split this year over Bennington, a split with Brattleboro, and they have swept Chester both games. That's big stuff because chance right there that counting Rutland would be the 4 playoff teams. Bells Falls is in the mix also, but they have 2 losses to Rutland and 4 losses overall in league play. And that's not going to be far enough away from the catcher Pilsmaker that allows Sharon to come home. He'll stay down at third base with Yanofsky right there on the bag with him. Craig Pettis behind the plate, calling balls and strikes. And there's a sun that peeks in and out throughout the clouds here in the warm-ups. It's a nice pitch on the inside corner. But right now, I tell you, the left fielders for both teams, McGuire and Mayville and McGuire, Mayville for Woodstock, McGuire for Rutland, got the benefit of some shade right now. And that's a notorious sun field when it's out. That's going to be up the middle. Base hit, RBI. That will score Matt Sharon with the game's first run. And a nice stroke right there by McLaughlin. Now, McLaughlin was one of the guys in charge of applying the eye black. And he seemed to know too much about it, I think, for a baseball player. He looked more like being in a beauty salon. Now, LaPlaca up. He has had a ton of doubles this year. He's also had a grand slam home run right here on his home field. And that's a strike on the outside corner. He's a catcher tonight. And that doubleheader against Brattleboro, he got a little break in the first game. He was DH. Chris Parker did the catching, and now he's back to normal duty behind the dish. And down in the count quickly here, 0-2. McLaughlin is being held on at first base defensively by Troy Pareto. Now Pareto is one of the guys that if Wemple, the pitcher, gets in trouble, he is one of the guys they could call on. And that's going to be lifted, and it looks this time to be catchable near the wall and right into the wall after he makes the catch. A deep, deep fly out by LaPlaca, and a nice catch out there by Mark McGuire. So that will be the second out. And I'll bring up Chris Parker. Remember, Parker did the catching in game 1 against Brattleboro, then went back to his normal spot of second base. And that's where we get him this evening, actually, as we're nearing the 6 o'clock hour. Defensively, he'll be at second, and that's going to be outside for a ball. And that was another deep hit ball by LaPlaca. That's just about where he hit his grand slam home run over that spot right there in the wall. And that's just good old-fashioned fastball. Makes it 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, I went to the weather information on Channel 15's bulletin board, and it said between 5 and 7, no rain, no thunder, no lightning, which should be just enough time to get the enough innings in here in case it is a rain-shortened game. That's why it's very important always, but especially with iffy weather, to get the lead early. You don't want to have the game called, have it be official, and that's going to be through the hole, and another base hit for Rutland this inning, and runners will stay at first and second on that drive through the hole at shortstop. Good job by Parker of turning on the ball. Kept his head down on it. Been a double and 2 singles this inning. There's 2 down, 2 on, and now the DH for tonight, Zach Aquistapace. And Aquistapace with a chance to add some more runs here. The post 31's 1-0 lead. And that's a good location. Nice outside pitch by Luke Wemple. Again, Pilsmaker and Wemple. That's the battery for Woodstock. They're out there in the green tops, gray bottoms. He went down 1-2-3 in the first inning. Matt Sharon, the Rutland pitcher, striking out 2 of the 3 batters he faced. You see McLaughlin going down on second base. There's Parker at our third base. There's Parker at second, and that was a wild pitch. And that lets the runners move up, though. And if Quistapase gets this thing, keeps this thing going, Chad Ryan will be the next hitter up for Rutland. And boy, nice job of getting those hands quick through the strike zone. Be fouled down for a 1-2 count now. So they retrieve the ball, got it back to Wemple. Quistapase is set, and the pitch going to come across high. You see Wemple kind of give him a look in there, but that's definitely high, even to a guy like Zach Quistapase, who's, I'm about up to his belt buckle when I stand next to him. So he's going to be like 6'4", 6'5", big guy. And they'll be outside. Good eye by Quistapase right there, and that'll run it to a full count at 3 balls, 2 strikes. A walk here would load the bases for post 31. And they had their game faces on, even with all the eye black being painted. Boy, Quistapase going to get that up, and is it going to have enough? Yeah, it's going to drop in and score 2 runs. As remember, there were 2 down, so the runners were moving, and the Quistapase will have 2 RBIs to start his night off with that single to center field. And that's how big and strong he is. That was in on his fist, and he still had enough juice in that swing there to be able to get that ball up and over there. So Chad Ryan up now. He's now the 7th hitter to come to the plate. Chad's in center field tonight. Did an excellent job coming on the pitch in relief in the second game against Brattleboro. And he had a good eye right there. He'll be outside for a ball. So Wemple being roughed up. Oh, this is a gapper. This is going to be to the wall. You see it hit the wall and bounce around. And Chad Ryan will go in standing up with a double and a run scoring behind him. And Rutland got their hitting shoes on here as Chad Ryan having a good first year with American Post 31. Drives in a Quistapase. So that is 1, 2, 3 singles, 2 doubles, and now the 8th hitter, Sean McGuire, coming to the plate here. As Rutland suffering no letdown with that split from Brattleboro. And by a letdown, I mean they're playing, when they're teams that they know they're going to face in the playoffs. And this team here is one that has Woodstock has struggled. Their record is indicative of that, and they're not going to make the tournament. But Rutland doing just what teams that win tournaments do. They're coming in playing not to the level of the competition, but to their best efforts and assets out there. And the pitch will be outside, and it'll be a 2-0 count. Ryan getting a pretty healthy lead down there at second base. Nobody coming in behind him, and that's going to be to shortstop, bobbled around, and he's going to eat it. That's the best play he could have made right there. Smart decision after he bobbled the ball. Boimer will eat it. That'll be an error, E6, and runners will be at first and third. And McGuire, always a threat. Everybody's on post 31 to steal, but first and third especially is a good chance to move that runner up. See if he can create some havoc, maybe get a throwdown or an error, and have that runner release from third base and score. Now Brewer up. And all you missed right there is the throw to first base. I was doing some book work. 4-0 Rutland. And we're only in the bottom of the first. Scheduled for 7 tonight. That's up in the air. And Brewer got it on the fist. And oh, nice catch by Wemple. No communications, but he didn't run anybody, and he'll make the catch. And Rutland will have 4 runs at the 1 inning of play. They'll have a 4-0 lead over Woodstock. Matt Sharon had a very confident building first inning of work. We'll be looking at number 4 hitter, Mark Mayville. He faced 3 batters in that first inning, and there's a strike to start off this second inning. Rutland up 4-0. Again, they'll have a league game on the road against Fairhaven, another league game on the road against Windsor, and they'll wrap things up here at home against South Royalton. That's going to be foul. But a win tonight, I know we're tape delayed and all that good stuff, but it locks up one of the 4 postseason playoff spots for Rutland Post 31. And I know I'm a hometowner and stuff, but I like their chances of any of the 4 teams who might make it. I just don't think there's a clear cut. Yeah, and they're checked with the umpire down the first baseline. He said he held up, and that makes it 1 ball, 2 strikes. They thought they had the 3rd strikeout, and even if he didn't think he had it, that's a smart play by LaPlaca, because you never know what you're going to get for a call. There's strike 3 looking. Oh my goodness, how could he just watch that? We're 2 strikes right down the pipe, and that's 2 strikeouts in a row going back to the first inning, 3 for the ball game. Now Troy Pareto up. Like I said, Matt Sharon, when he does get the starts, makes the most of them. He's undefeated here at home. Remember, he was the opening day pitcher against Granville in that first ball game that Rutland won 10-5. Pitched very well in that game. And it'll be in the dirt for a ball. So we'll have a 1-1 count with 1 down and nobody on. The on-deck hitter is Dan Janoski. A much more comfortable day to watch and play the game today. Heat wave that went through Rutland over the weekend. Brutal on the team. They played a double header. 14 innings of baseball. Like I said, almost 6 hours here, counting the time we have to get warm up before the first game for these young men. That's very fatiguing. And that's going to be to Parker. No, it's going to be cut off by Brewer, and he's going to go and tag the bag himself. So he'll have a unassisted put out there, and that'll be 2 down now. So Sharon, as he usually does, starting off strong. He's retired 5 in a row, the first 5 Woodstock players he's faced. Now Janoski up, and he plays third base defensively for Woodstock. In that outfield, even though he's a right-handed hitter, they're pretty much straight up, and looks like we're going to have an equipment problem with the Plaka. He's going to come over and get some work done on his equipment, and that's where we'll pick it up when he's all good to go behind the plate again. So it looks like Plaka got a new either face mask or headgear or both, but he's got a different color helmet on that he didn't have on before. And that's going to stay in play, and this could be a 1-2-3 inning again. There's the throw, and Sharon just cruising along. Retired the first 6 Woodstock Post 24 hitters he has faced. 4-0 Rutland going in the bottom of the second. Started to say, I mean, of course, I'm a hometown fan, but I like Rutland's chances. You take any of the 4 teams that could qualify. I mean, they match up very well with all of them, and there is no X factor this year. Like last year, all the big buzz was the pitching staff from Bennington, and that's Dorian with a shot, and that's going back, and Mayville will watch. Oh, he kind of like lost it. It hit about a 1.5 feet behind him, and Dorian's going to come in and have a stand-up double on what might have been a catchable ball out there to left field. I don't know if he thought he was closer to the wall than he was, but it's good news for Post 31. Now Matt Sharon up. And Rob Dorian will be 1 for 2 tonight. He grounded out to third base this first time up and now doubled here in the second, as Post 31 had sent 9 batters to the plate in that first inning. So everybody getting a second look already against Wemple, and that's going to be through the hole at first and second, and that should send, yeah, they're going to send him in to score, and Dorian with that good speed will come in and easily the throw wouldn't have had him, and it's a nice job by cutting the throw off right there by Pareto, because you don't want Sharon to take second base on the throw home. So an RBI for Matt Sharon. So he scored a run tonight, and he has driven in a run. He has a single and a double, and now Jeff McLaughlin up. He has an RBI and a single back in the first inning. As Rutland really zeroing in here on Wemple's pitches. And Wemple throwing a lot of soft stuff out there, and doesn't have a lot of. He hasn't had anything to set it up. It's just been a dose of curveball, changeup, you know, real soft stuff. You got to have something to kind of offset it, and that could be trouble. No, it looks to be playable. It will be caught on the little bit of a run, and he looked at first base, but Sharon, very smart, didn't get too far away, and that's going to be the first out of the innings. Alex McCarthy comes up and makes that grab. Now LaPlaca, remember, he flied out right to the wall in left field. Just another inch or 2 out, and he would have had another home run here at St. Peter's Field. Oh, but last year everybody talked about that great pitching staff from Bennington. And of course, Derek McDonald figured into that mix, but he's had arm trouble this year, so I'm not really sure how effective he would be or will be, or if he can even pitch. But I've seen the pitching staff from Brattleboro, and it's no better than Rutland's. Actually, I think Rutland's is a better pitching staff. I liked Chester's chances until they lost Ken Cook, who was a pitcher here in the game played here against Rutland. He broke his arm. That leaves him with Gilchrist, who's an outstanding pitcher. But you always got to have an X factor. Rutland, you start, you know, you look at Rob Turner. You know, he's got experience. Justin Pamakala. They're both first year, you know, they're out of high school. They're gone through a year of college. I mean, those are big points right there. They're both pitchers who can make a game, take it over, and dominate it. Oh, that's a shot to center field, and Looks to be playable, though, a little bit fading to the right. It'll be picked out there by Alan Clark for the second out. So post 31 with 1 run in here, but 2 down now, and a runner at second base. And Chris Parker up. He scored and singled back in the first inning for a 5-0 Rutland in the bottom of the second. And Wemple looking to get out of this inning after, they're making good contact, solid contact off from him. Parker like that, got a rip at it and falls it straight back. But then you look at the rest of that, because you got to think about, if you go 3 games, 4 games deep into that Southern tournament, and it's very important to get off on the winning side of that first game you played at that tournament, get in the winner's bracket. And we'll have to talk about that afterwards, because this looks to be playable. And, oh yeah, at the last second, Boehmer will call off Clark. He'll make the catch. Rutland will pick up 1. We'll go to the third. 5-0 Rutland, post 31 with the lead. Tell you a game that's moving right along. Luke Wemple up, then Alex McCarthy and Alan Clark, and that will complete the first time through the batting order for Woodstock. They've sent 6 hitters to the plate. Matt Sharon struck out 3 of them. He's also had a hand in a 1-3 putout, an assist there, and there's a strike called. But I like I said, you take Rob Turner and Justin Palmacala, 2 of the best pitchers in the league. And then you take Matt Sharon and Chad Ryan, who both played for Mill River this past season, and you see how good Sharon's doing tonight. Ryan's pitched very well when he's been out there this season. And I like Mike Sorelli. You throw Mike Sorelli in that mix also. There's 5 get-it-done pitchers. Sorelli's had it, he's got it done all season long in relief. Remember the job he did here against Windsor, and then on the road against Chester Post 67. And then, of course, you can always keep going in deeper. And there's Zach Aquista-Pace, who can, he's excellent first baseman, but he can go in there and throw some pitches for you. Chris Parker, if he has to, can pitch. I mean, you start getting 3-4 games into a tournament in a short, weekend. And that's really what it comes down to. Who's going to have the most arms to go to, or who's developed the most arms, most confidence throughout the season. You might not have like at the beginning of this year, you would have looked at, you said Turner and Palmacala. Turner would be my ace, and Palmacala didn't even play college ball, and Turner had a back problem at Castleton, so he didn't play a lot. So you're like, my pitching staffs right now is really kind of like gelatin. It's all over the place. But as the year went along and things kind of gelled, like I said, Matt Sharon's emerged as a very good number 3 starter. Chad Ryan's emerged as like with Sorelli, you can put him in any situation and he gets the job done. And Palmacala, he proved you don't need to play college ball, just come on in and start throwing, and boom, he did an excellent job all season. So I mean, I'm looking at, there is depth on this team of Rutland, and they have enough bat power to create runs. And that pitch is going to be low and outside. We're at 5-0 Rutland in the top of the third, and 2-2 the count to the leadoff hitter, Luke Wemple. And Rutland's defense, now they've had an inning or 2 here where it has let them down, but overall, you take the whole season, and another strikeout for Matt Sharon. He has now struck out 4 hitters, as we have 1 down here in the third. So we played 2 1/3 innings. He has struck out 4, and he's retired all 7 batters he's faced. So McCarthy up now, trying to disrupt that rhythm. And that's one thing you see a lot of teams not do, especially at the Legion High School level. Now Sharon's retired 7 in a row. Nobody's making him work on the mound. By that I mean, why not drop a bunt? Why not make him get out of his rhythm? Why not have him try to chase down the ball and field it? Just trying to get him out. He's just catching and firing right now. That's a swinging strike right there, an 0-1. So McCarthy, who couldn't catch up to that last pitch, will see a great outside corner right there. That fastball just tickling the outside corner for an 0-2 count. And Matt Sharon, whether he's ahead or behind or doing well or not in the ball game, works at a fast pace. Catches the ball, likes the first sign, goes with it. Came back with a high fastball, a little bit too high, and it'll be a 1-2 count. And this is where he's developed, working with Coach Jeff Brewer there. That really sharp curveball he's got. See if he comes up with that 1-2 count with it. Now it stayed hard and just missed low. Goes 2-2 the count. There's 1 down, nobody on. 5-0 Rutland, post 31 in this Southern Vermont League matchup between Woodstock, post 24. And that's going to be out of play. Actually, going to be over the screen and on the River Street. Now, when Matt Sharon's not pitching, you put him at shortstop, Parker at second, Dorian in center, and You know, you got a good, oh, there's a back-to-back strikeouts. That was the curveball that he's been working on with Coach Brewer. He's now got 5 strikeouts, 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. And if he can retire Clark, he would have retired the first 9 Woodstock hitters he's faced. He would have gone through the order and retired all 9 hitters. He's had no walks. He's had no 3-ball counts. And there's a strike, and he has been very in focus right now. Now, as well as Sharon's pitching, you've seen Turner get the job done this year in Pamacala. That's 3 solid starters for the Southern Vermont tournament. And strike 2 on that cut action fastball came down, and then he throws that with the seams right there, and he's got a chance to strike out the side right here. He's just looking for the 3rd out of the top of the first. And good job with 2 strikes right there. We've already seen a couple of hitters for Woodstock with 2 strikes take one down the pipe looking. Not the case right there. And now that sunshine has re-emerged here, and that's a tough field for a shortstop, third base, left field. And it doesn't matter. Sharon strikes out the side, and he is just cruising tonight on St. Peter's Field's turf. Zach Aquistapes will get things started here. He had a single back in the first inning that scored 2 runs, and he eventually himself came around to score. You'll have Chad Ryan on deck and Sean McGuire on double deck. Aquistapes getting the DH tonight, hitting for John Holtman. That one was a strike right there. 5-0 Rutland. They had 4 in the first, 1 in the second. Looking to keep that runs each inning going alive, and that's going to be another base hit for Aquistapes. What a nice job of getting down on that low pitch and bringing it up and over the infield. So he'll be back at first base with a 2-for-2 night so far from the plate. And Chad Ryan had a double his only time up, which was in the first. Ryan coming off in that Brattleboro second game, he had a 3-hit performance, and Aquistapes back ahead of the throw from Wemple. Wemple, the pitcher, hasn't had problem with being wild, walking people. He's just been hit. Woodstock has committed 1 error. And that's going to be another shot up the middle for a base hit. Aquistapes will stop at second, and Chad Ryan will be at first. And Chad Ryan's got a 2-for-2 night with that double and now the single. Now McGuire reached on the error that Boimer created when he couldn't handle the ground ball at shortstop. So Rutland getting the first 2 batters on here in the bottom of the 3rd. There are no down, nobody out, and again, Wemple is right around the plate, but they're just teeing off on him right now. LeBlanc, I remember when he was up, almost put one over the left field wall again. That's a good pitch. He looked at it a long time, McGuire did, but he didn't pull the trigger on it. And Garrett Brewer is your on-deck hitter for Rutland Post 31. Again, Channel 15 Sports bringing you American Legion Post 31 baseball throughout the summer. Oh, he waited on that, and Clark settling in, taking a few steps back, and the runner is unable to move up on that fly ball to center field. So that's just what Wemple needed, was an out without the runners moving up. And Brewer popped up to the pitcher, Wemple. His only time up. Paretto's defensively at first, Giampa's at second, Boimer's at short, Janowski's at third, Wemple and Pilsmaker is the battery, Mayville, Clark, and McCarthy. That's the outfield. And Brewer. Take that one a little bit high, it was above the belt, and it'll be ball 1. Well, I tell you what, Brewer hasn't seen a lot of first pitch fastballs this season. That one was right there, and he let it go by. And it'll be a fastball outside, and 2 balls, no strikes. Runners at first and second because they each got up and got singles. That's Aquistapes down at second, and Chad Ryan at first. And after Brewer, the top of the order, Dorian up. Nice job by Pilsmaker behind the plate of knocking that ball down, not allowing the runners to move up on the wild pitch. And so Rutland already have defeated Woodstock once in a mercy-shortened game. Looking pretty solid tonight. Again, they had a good effort, even in that split. Against Brattleboro, they looked like a tournament games, both those games. And there's a walk, and that'll load the bases. That'll push Aquistapes to third, Ryan to second, And Brewer, I believe, yeah, he's the first walk of the ball game. Now Dorian up. He's 1 for 2. He grounded out to third base and then doubled and scored back in the second. He's got a chance to really extend that 5-0 lead right now with a big base hit. And he jumped on the first pitch, and Wemple will call for it and make the catch just a little bit in front of the mound, and that is a huge out right there to get. That's the second out, and the bases remain loaded. That's the second fly ball that Wemple himself, the pitcher, has caught. Tough guy right here, Matt Sharon, a double and a single. He's 2 for 2 tonight. And he's a guy that really thrives in the spotlight, and he's right here with the bases loaded. He'll take that pitch down and away for a ball. Matt Sharon missed just that one game this year where he had the college orientation he had to go to, and he'll just kind of do a little mini jackknife, get back out of the way, not get hit by that. Wemple, not an overly fired up individual on the mound. That's going to be the third, and what a good break. The fielder made the play, Janoski, but then he fell down, and the runner able to get by him was Ryan, and the run will score. And boy, I tell you, when things go your way, they go your way. So Quistapace will score. Ryan's at third, Brewer's at second. And McLaughlin up now. He's 1 for 2. He's got an RBI and a single, and then he scored a run as it goes to 6-0 Rutland. And that's going to fall off the corner too much. It'll be ball 1. So Rutland has scored at least 1 in each inning. And again, there's 2 down, but a hit here could blow things open, and that's going to be more than a hit. That's going to drop. That's going to roll to the wall. That should clear the bases. We'll pick Sharon up coming around third. And he's going to come in with a run. Now we'll go back to McLaughlin, and he's going to be down at third base. And that cleared the bases right there. So you saw Sharon score. Brewer came in, and Chad Ryan. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4 runs there. That makes it 9-0 Rutland, and McLaughlin ends up. That's going to be a triple, even though it was a ball that was a do-or-die dive. When you make a play like that in the outfield, instead of going in with just your glove, you should come in with your whole body behind you so you can block the ball from rolling past you just like that. But it was Mayville trying to make the big play out there, and it ended up biting him in the butt. Now LaPlaca up. Plaka 0 for 2 tonight. He's flied out to left and to center field, but remember the fly out to left was a monster shot that was caught literally on the wall. And that was an ugly curveball. And that will be outside for a 2-0 count. So in this inning, as we hear thunder rumbling around, now it can't be 7 o'clock yet. Oh, he went down on what looked to be a slider and chased it for a 2-1 count. So at 9-0, Rutland, the last thing they want to see is lightning. And that's going to be back to Wemple. He'll pick it up, and that's the inning. But Rutland picks up 4 more runs. They lead 9-0 going into the 4th inning against Woodstock. Well, the second time through the order now, taking a look at Matt Sharon, the starting pitcher. We'll see if Jack Boymer, who struck out in the first inning, takes a strike right there. See if Woodstock can make any adjustments and get something started here against Matt Sharon. We're in the 4th now in the 7-run game. They've only got to go through 4.5 innings for the mercy rule for the game to be official. Now just miss inside for a 1-1 count. Sharon has 6 strikeouts, not giving up a hit, not giving up a walk. He's probably thrown the most minimal amount of pitches you can have other than throwing 1 pitch to each batter. Great pitch. And he's kept him just off balance like that. He's probably 75% fastball, and then he mixes in, he's got real good control over the fastball, and then he'll mix in that breaking ball. Got him. That's going to be dropped, and it's going to be a strikeout, and the first base runner will be on a drop third strike. I think LaPlaca got shielded from the ball. So his 7th strikeout. But the first base runner. Now Giampa up. He flied out to Sean McGuire in left field. And he will step in from the left side. So Sharon gets to strike out but has the runner at first. He'll come to set for the first time, and from the stretch, I mean, for the first time he comes to set and throws breaking ball strike, foul ball, 0-1 to count. It's 9-0 Rutland. We're in the top of the fourth, and post 31. Trying to close out the last portion of the season with games here against Woodstock, on the road against Fairhaven, on the road against Windsor, with a lot of momentum in league play. And that's going to be a little bit high. Now make it a 1-1 count. Again, Channel 15 is located at Building 24 in the House Center. Their website's www.pegtv.com. And that's just an outstanding pitch. Well, I tell you, either Woodstock's completely baffled, or he's just fooling the heck out of them down there. But they're very uninspired right now at the plate. This could be double play. They're going to take one, and Dorian will throw, and that will erase the error on the drop third strike. There's the first double play of the ball game, and I do believe that every game I have done here at St. Peter's Field, I'm doing my homework right now. Ben Pilsmaker up, he struck out in the first. That there's been at least one double play. Most of those games, there's been multiple double plays turned by post 31, but that's a 6-3 double play. And he just overpowered. Just challenged him with a fastball. Pilsmaker can't catch up to it, and it's an 0-1 count. So Sharon back on track to facing just the minimum amount of hitters. He's at 11. This is number 12 right here, and through 4 innings, if he gets Pilsmaker, he would have faced 12, which is the minimum. And he has 7 strikeouts in the ball game. The only base runner got on a drop third strike, and he same pitch, same results. Just tied him up like a pretzel. He's got an 0-2 count. Now it's a pitcher who's so effective tonight. You know, now you're in a real quandary. Do you just go right back to the heater inside like that, or do you try to throw the change up with the curve? I mean, everything's working for him. Came down, and that pitch was low for a 1-2 count. Oh, you know, I got to correct myself. They called the runner at first safe. I got to go back and watch that. I thought he was out by a mile. That's how bad my eyes have gotten in my old age. So they did not turn a double play. And that is a strikeout, foul tip caught by LaPlaca. So he will not face the minimum. But now he's picked up his 8th strikeout. Now we'll bring up Mark Mayville, who struck out in the second. He's got 2 strikeouts in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, and 2 so far here in the fourth. And the runner at first base is there on a fielder's choice. So Mayville with a 1-ball, no strike count. Wow, I'm getting old. I watched Dorian come across the bag, make the throw to first, and it looked like a no contest. They are holding a runner out at first. That's Brewer. So Giampa down at first, and from the stretch still is Sharon, and he just generates so much power. He's 5'11", 6 feet tall. You know, just athletically built, and it's his mindset. It's his mind that makes him such a great player. 1-2, and he's looking to strike out the 3 outs here, just like that. And he's the last 2 innings, he has struck out 3 batters in each inning, and he's racking them up now. It's 9-0 Rutland going into the bottom of the 4th. Hard to believe I've only got one more post 31 broadcast here at home to do against South Royalton. Chris Parker starting things off here in the bottom of the 4th. I'm getting an awful itching to go over to Fairhaven and see if they'll let me tape the tournament. And that's a foul ball. Boy, Parker turned on that and ripped it. Yeah, I get that this past season we went over to Polteny, my son and I, and we did the Otter Valley Division II softball championship game against Linden. Takes me just about 16 to 18 minutes to get to Polteny, so if I straighten the road out, it should take me just about 15 to get to Fairhaven. Time on the road's a big thing to me. And that'll drop outside for a ball. Be 2 balls, 1 strike now to Parker. And Parker tonight, he's had a single, and he's flied out to Boimer, and that's going to be to center field, and that's a shot. You can see the ball hit. The wall will be picked up, and Parker going to come on in with a double. He's got 2 hits tonight. single and a double, and Chris Parker, who's just been on fire all season, still burning pretty bright right now toward the end of the season. Now, after Quistapes, who's 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs and a run scored, they're going to bring in Holtman so he can get a base hit. And I think the thinking here is this is not going to make it to 7 innings tonight, so get some people some playing time. It's 9-0. And great pitch. First left-handed hitter that Wemple has faced, because he's only a left-handed hitter player for post 31, is John Holtman. Boy, he liked that. Holtman follows it straight back, and we'll have an 0-2 count. No, Doc LaPlaca told me he could get me over there, and we could see if there's a spot to shoot from. And I mean, I follow the guys all year long, every year, and that's a pretty close place to go watch a game. I could probably handle it. That's going to be fouled off. Good job with 2 strikes by Holtman of following that pitch off. Now, what's going on here is in the bottom of the 4th, if Rutland can score another run and have 10, they'll have a 10-run lead, which means if Matt Sharon plows through the order in the 5th, that'll be an official ball game. It'll be a mercy rule game. That's going to be right back to Wemple. He'll look at second base. There wasn't a play. He'll go to first, and just great base running right there. You can see the runner, Parker, moved it right down to third base. And again, it was the right play by the pitcher, too, to get the out. They needed the out. Now Chad Ryan, who's having a 2 for 2 night with a double and a single. He's looking for an RBI right here with a runner at third base and less than 2 down. I don't know. That stays playable. No, it's going to be back on River Street. But again, if the South Royalton game, July 25th, gets rained out or whatever, they don't make that one up. It's the end of the season. It's a non-league game, so they wouldn't make it up. So I'll take this opportunity just to thank the American Legion Post 31 to allow me again this year to cover Legion baseball action. And boy, good try by both the first baseman Pareto and Pillsmaker, the catcher, but the ball will drop between them, and there'll be yet another chance here to swing the bat for Chad Ryan. But I'd like to thank Post 31. I'd like to thank Ron Fairbanks, the general manager. Yeah, he gave me an old screwed up schedule at the start of the season. I got upset over it, but he corrected it and apologized. Got me the right schedule with starting times. And yeah, I made a fool of myself in the Hartford game complaining about it. But that's me. I make a fool of myself quite often. No need to stop after all these years. Coach Sorelli, Coach Brewer, Coach Bennett, as always, very accessible. Let me in the dugout, get my lineup, answer any silly question I ask them. They're going to throw down, and boy, that's a good throw to third. The runner's back safe, and the pitch was called a strike. I believe it's 1-2. I'd like to thank all the players, too. It's a privilege to be here and cover their baseball games, and that pitch will be off the table, and we'll go to a 2-2 count. And, of course, thanking the parents for putting up with me if anybody does watch Channel 15. And I don't know their names, but the people in the concession stands have been great all year. They make sure I have a couple bottles of ice-cold water on these hot days and nights, so I don't pass out up here and they don't find me a week later and I'm all decomposed and ruin the booth. They make sure I got a lot of water to drink, but thank them very much. And, of course, the most important person to thank is my wife for allowing me to come out and play. That's going to be a slow bouncer to Boimer to first. He's safe. The run scores. Chad Ryan just way too speedy an individual, and Boimer did everything he could. He charged the ball and threw off bounds, but that's going to be the 4th consecutive inning that Rutland has scored. They had 4 in the first, 1 in the second, 4 in the third, 1 in the fourth so far. It's 10-0 Rutland. Now McGuire up, who's reached on an error and flied out to center field. And he'll be outside. So Wemple looks like whatever happens here, he's going to go the distance for Woodstock. He's their guy. Again, he hasn't pitched bad. He's only walked 1. There's been 1 error committed behind him. And just a matter of being in and around that plate and having the ball hit by good hitters. But 10-0 Rutland, and we're in the bottom of the 4th. That should be caught. Boimer looks like he says, I got it. He does. And that's 2 outs now. The runner will stay over at first base. Garrett Brewer up. Brewer has flied out. He has walked and scored, and he would love to be able to leave the game with a good feeling here and get a solid base hit. In case you missed it, Matt Sharon pitching a no-hitter, I'm sorry. Boy, Brewer right on that pitch, fouls it straight back off the fist and over onto River Street. Now Matt Sharon's got 9 strikeouts, no hits allowed. The one batter that reached got there on a drop third strike, and that's going to be past the catcher, and yeah, he's going to stay up, no throw coming, and Chad Ryan will move on to second base on the wild pitch. So Brewer with a 1-1 count. Yeah, and that's been his Achilles heel. Breaking ball. 2 Achilles heels. He's very tense at the plate in a game, unlike in warm-ups or when he's been doing batting practice with his father, and he's had an awful time with breaking balls. And that's a good example of it right there. And that's the inning, so Matt Sharon looking to come out and go to work and put this thing to rest early tonight. 10-0 Rutland going into the 5th. Here's some of the changes you're looking at. First base, Zach Aquistapace has gotten in defensively. And Joe Toronto right there, he's in right field. And center fielder remains Chad Ryan. Mark Noble over there in left field. Where's Mike? There's Mike Sorelli, he's your new third baseman. Dorian remains at short. Parker remains, there's Chris, at second. LaPlaca's still your catcher, and Matt Sharon working on a 9 strikeout, no hitter. As they're just waiting to get things set up here, it's going to be Pareto, Janoski, and Wemple due up. Sharon struck out the side in the third, struck out the side in the fourth, had 1 strikeout in the second, 2 in the first. The only man to reach base was on a drop third strike. Nobody's been to second base for Woodstock. It's been about as dominating a pitching performance as I have seen all season long from anybody. Ball 1 to count. And Pareto grounded out to Matt Sharon. His only time up, and that's going to be ball 2, 2-0. And of course, there has been a lot of defense to talk about. And they're going to call that ball 3. Wait, that's a close pitch. It'll be 3. That's the first time tonight that Matt Sharon has gone to a 3-ball count. And there's a strike. Nice pitch. Right there, something. Pareto, you never do that. Start walking to first base. That fires up the pitcher. And that's going to be picked up by Aquistapace. He'll flip to Matt Sharon. We'll have a 3-1 put out to get this underway here in the 5th inning. Can you take away that that drop third strike? He's pitched a perfect game. He's faced 1 over the minimum. Now Janoski up. He grounded out to Matt Sharon. Pareto didn't ground out to Sharon. I'm sorry, he grounded out to Brewer at first. It was Janoski that grounded out to Sharon. 1-3. Fouls. That's fouled but caught by the catcher. Strike 1. Again, 2 outs away from a no-hitter is Matt Sharon. And I'll tell you what, he's made some record time here this evening too. Well, you can see LaPlaca hold it, but he couldn't get the call, and that'd be a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And I don't care who your opponent is. A no-hitter is a no-hitter. And I'm not blaming anybody on the drop third strike, where the catcher actually got screened by the swing. And when it hit off his equipment and went far enough away so he couldn't pick it up and throw the runner out. But pretty much he's pitched a perfect game. Seriously. Like I said, you take Turner, Pamakala, and Sharon, and there is the strikeout number 10. That's a strikeout, at least 1 every inning. And Luke Wemple, who has struck out in his only plate appearance, is the last chance here for Woodstock, as they need at least 1 run to push us into the bottom of the 5th. So we were scheduled for 7, and after the first 2 innings, I could tell we weren't going to make it. Just the way that the hitters were hitting, the pitchers were pitching, and the fielders were fielding. So 0-1 count to Wemple. And he went, yeah, 0-2 kind of. That's what I mean. He's been keeping him off balance, and he's either overpowered him with the fastball, and it's location with it, or he's just kept him off balance. So here it is, 10 strikeouts, no hitter, and this is going to stay fair. It's going to come down to Parker. He'll retire the side, and Matt Sharon will pitch a no hitter. He will face one batter over the limit. He didn't walk anybody. He struck out 10, and Rutland will win in 4.5 innings. And you see the big pick-me-up by McLaughlin there. 10-0 Rutland over Woodstock. And now they will head into league games against Fairhaven and Windsor. But tonight's win not only is impressive, but it qualifies them for the postseason. And Matt Sharon, what a job he did. So, I mean, very good effort by Woodstock. I like the way they just kept sticking with it and doing the best they could. They were overmatched tonight. And congratulations to Post 31. Good luck on the road. I hope it doesn't rain 25th of July, because I'll pick you up here in the non-league game against South Royalton. And for Channel 15 Sports, so you can get out there, support public access television, support Legion Baseball, and I always support Munger Vision. God bless America. What a job by Matt Sharon.